In keeping with the tradition of personal anonymity at the level of public media, the faces of AA members do not appear in this production. The people shown portraying AA members are hired actors.
I didn't tell anyone at work today. It's too important to me. What does being sober a year mean to someone who hasn't done it? In AA, they call it your birthday. So tonight is my first AA birthday. My name is on that cake. I don't even like cake, and I'm acting like it's the most important night of my life. Well, considering how far I've come, maybe it is. After treatment, I started going to Alcoholics Anonymous simply because it was the only way I could think to stay sober once I got out. And slowly, by listening, and listening was hard at first, I came to learn about AA, how it worked and why it worked. And I learned that if your problem was substance abuse, there were other 12-step programs, but AA's only reason for existence was recovering from alcoholism.
That it wasn't an organization to help people get jobs, and it wasn't an organization to help you solve your marital problems and financial problems. They weren't selling anything, they weren't advocating anything, they weren't trying to do anything except help somebody who wanted to stop drinking find a way to see to it that he never had to take another drink if he didn't want to.
But this doesn't mean we don't welcome people in a very important way who have other problems. We all have other problems. Now, someone might have a problem with drugs or some other compulsion or addiction and also have a problem with alcohol. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. If you have the desire to stop drinking, you belong here. And that her function was simply to take me around to meetings when I got out of the hospital so that I would feel comfortable, so that I had someone to go with.
You don't have to make a permanent commitment with those people that you'll be their friends always, or anything. They're there to serve. They're there to help. You know, they'll come because somebody did that for them, and you can't ever give back what you got, but you can pass it on.
The first week out, I had a slip. Then I caught on pretty fast that if I didn't go to meetings, I'd be back where I started. So every night, I'd go to a different meeting. Some would be open meetings where everyone is welcome, and some would be closed meetings just for alcoholics. Hi, my name is Maggie, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie. And after the novelty wore off, I started to feel the same old urges coming back. That's when I began to understand the importance of finding a home group.
I showed up there every single week, and gradually people got to know me. They recognized my face. They saw me there every week, and gradually they got comfortable talking to me, and I got comfortable talking to them, and in time I began to develop friendships with people. It wasn't easy at first. At first, I just had to make myself show up early and stay late and smile at everybody. I don't make friends easily. That might be part of the reason why I drank. But in time, just by showing up week after week and seeing the same faces, gradually I began to make friends.
You can start by setting up chairs or cleaning up or volunteering to make coffee, or just by identifying, which may be all you can do at the beginning. But keep going back on a regular basis, and you can adopt that one particular group as your home group.
I had been told the advantage in that was that those people would get to know me, perhaps even better than I knew me, and that if I was having difficulties, they would maybe spot it before I would.
Well, maybe in your home group, there will be people that will ask, "How you doing?" And you'll say, "Fine." And they'll go, "No, really, how are you doing?" And they will listen to you. And they're willing to risk our wrath, to give whatever little assurance and aid or comfort that they can. The home group is a place that keeps us true to ourselves. Those are the people that are going to give me the greatest opportunities to grow, because it'll be helping them in directing me in the growth.
Well, it's like an anchor. It's your home in AA. And the suggestion to find a home group is not a suggestion not to go to a lot of other meetings. It's simply a suggestion to find, well, perhaps the easiest way to say it is, to find a home that's your home in AA. Once I got established in a home group, it was a lot easier for me to get a sponsor. And that was a big step for me in coming to terms with the changes I needed to make to stay sober. Now, a sponsor is someone who helps throughout sobriety and to work the AA program, because sponsorship is very important in AA, and everyone needs help when they first come into the AA program. So someone around your own age, of the same sex, who has good sobriety, can help you get through the first stages and give you moral support, primarily in keeping you sober until you can get rid of that urge to drink. Sponsors are the people that you look at them and they have something, you know? Sometimes it's just the clothes they're wearing, sometimes it's the car that they drive. I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up, so I couldn't pick the ideal person. But these people, they have a certain something, and what it does is creates the desire to emulate. What it took for me was a leveling of my own pride, because when you ask someone to be your sponsor, that is the first step in the leveling of that pride that says, I can't do it alone.
You don't have to take the first person that you talk to, and they don't have to take you either. It's a fit where you try to mess and feel each other out a little bit, and maybe ask a question and see what sort of advice you get, and see if you can live with that advice.
I think it's something that should be done quickly. I don't think it's something you have to linger on for months or go to 1,012 meetings before you decide who's going to be your sponsor.
Listen to the people, and when somebody starts to make real sense to you, talk to that person about being your sponsor, because you want somebody who has what you want. If you do not want what they have, then there is no point in going to them. You'll need to find somebody else. It doesn't take too long.
When I first came to AA, just not drinking seemed to be good enough. But after a while, I wanted more. And it was pretty easy to see that the people who had what I wanted, the joy and the ease and the peacefulness that I wanted, they were the people who had worked what they call the 12 steps.
You should try to work those 12 steps as soon as you possibly can. As soon as you feel comfortable with the steps when you come into the program. Now, you don't have to rush into them at all. The first one is to admit directly to being an alcoholic and that your life was unmanageable.
8. Make a list of all persons we had harmed.
They are numbered. It is suggested that you take them in the order that they are numbered, and at no time are you asked to do them perfectly. You simply do the best that you can with each step.
It's all very basic. They kind of pointed out that I have to let go and stop feeling bad about everything that's happened to me in the past. I have to start feeling better about myself and the world. Gain a little self-worth after the complete ego smashing that I went through to get to the program in the first place.
Well, I began to work the steps, and gradually they became part of my life. And my sponsor helped me a lot with that. And I guess I relaxed a little bit, and I looked around, and I noticed that it was working. In spite of the fact that I'd never been a joiner, and I didn't believe in it really, it was working in spite of me. And there's a reason for that. Somewhere along the line in AA's history, through trial and error, they found that some ways of conducting things in the fellowship worked better than others, and they wrote them down, a sort of bylaws, and called them traditions. I'd hear terms like anonymity, non-affiliation, self-support, and they were just words until I really listened to what they meant to the members.
Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men...
One might think because an AA meeting is held at a particular church, that it's affiliated with the church or a religious society, or that it's affiliated with a particular treatment facility because AA meetings are held there, and AA is discussed there as part of the treatment. But Alcoholics Anonymous is totally independent and totally separate from any other organization. And it's very important for AA that it be that way. I feel good inside that AA is self-supporting and can do that without going to the outside world and asking for funds. The program works because we do it ourselves. And I know, just from my experience, that's the only way it's going to work.
There's also a sense of accomplishment if you're paying your own bills. So many of us came in and we had never been responsible for anything, and suddenly it's our responsibility to keep this fellowship afloat. Uncle Sam's not going to come in and bail us out. It's us.
In AA, we come and we sit on the same level. No one's better than anyone else, and nobody is less than anyone else in an AA meeting. It's something you can feel better than I can articulate. Another reason for anonymity that I see is that there are some people that would prefer society at large not know that they're alcoholic. It might affect their job, or if they're young, they don't want their parents to know right now, or whatever. I mean, we just need to protect people's privacy with anonymity. And that's why I say at a lot of meetings that I attend, what you hear in this meeting, you let it stay in this meeting. And the people that I associate with, they practice that well. That's why they're my friends. Well, at least one reason.
I don't break anyone else's anonymity. If they choose to do that in a situation, that's fine. But it's not my place to reveal that anyone is in AA.
We are not cured of alcoholism.
I went to some meetings in my husband's hometown, and my mother-in-law was most anxious to have me tell her who was at the meetings. I had to explain to her that, it's not for me to tell her who was there. That would be breaking the tradition. And so she had to settle for that.
There have been celebrities who let it be known that they are members of Alcoholics Anonymous, and then within a few weeks, they might have hit the front pages again with a story about how they were picked up driving drunk or doing something drunk. People look at things like that and they think AA doesn't work. But what they don't realize, because of course nobody says anything, we stay quiet with ourselves, is when you come into Alcoholics Anonymous, you're walking into a room of people just like you.
Listening was hard at first.
People don't want their anonymity broken any more than you want yours broken.
And I learned that.
So they're going to protect you, because you're going to protect them.
So, a year has passed since I've had a drink, and I'm proud of me. Maybe the hardest thing I had to learn, and the most valuable, was As crazy as it sounds, you just don't pick up that first drink. And you do it a day at a time, sometimes an hour at a time. It's been the bravest thing I've ever done because I had to put my sobriety first and respect myself. And I needed to grow up to do that. At times, it was hard. But I didn't have to do it alone. And you don't either.
In keeping with the tradition of personal anonymity at the level of public media, the faces of AA members do not appear in this production. The people shown portraying AA members are hired actors.